resolution offer Israeli?
In the greater scheme of things, in addressing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and feels as though other resolutions may be better suited for the overall addressing of this matter. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate. This motion does require Measure 1.1 to the floor for debate. Please raise your placards.
Point of inquiry.
Point of inquiry, United States.
I don't have any resolutions to look at, even. And neither does my colleagues beside me.
Okay. Delegate from the United States. Delegate from the United States.
A sponsor of Resolution 1.2. And Spain would like to point out that while the internationalization of Jerusalem sounds like a good idea in theory, it wouldn't work because it's just too holy to too many people that it would just, Spain believes that would just make everybody angry. And Spain would also like to encourage the creation of a Palestinian state because Spain believes that if Palestinians have their own state, it may increase goodwill toward Israel from the other Arab nations, and we believe that it would be a step in the right direction to create a Palestinian state. I yield my time.
Chile is a sponsor for Working Paper 1.5, and it recognizes the need to establish concessions between Israel and Palestine. Along with the Latin and Caribbean blocs, we also have support from various countries around the world, and Chile believes that Resolution 1.5 is able to establish these concessions, and this resolution considers all aspects, not only like the humanitarian policies, but other just socially as well, and it approaches it effectively.
Members of the General Assembly, in reference to Resolution 1.1, the delegate from Ethiopia would like to establish the fact that peace in the Middle East is not isolated to just the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It entails all of the surrounding areas, including the Ethiopian Eritrean territories. This conflict between the two has had detrimental effects on the people, land, and peace in the entire Middle East. Keep in mind that if Ethiopia were to gain Eritrea, the balance of power would be restored and peace could be achieved once and for all. I yield my time to the chair.
Solving that problem first, we cannot legitimately see a future option. Thank you. I yield my time.
George.
I'd like to say that the two-state solution is a very good option. However, one of the main problems is the Palestinian refugees, and none of these resolutions do anything about it except for Resolution 1.4. We need to vote on 1.4 and debate on it because it has an actual plan that will work on providing compensation for all the Palestinian refugees and all the nations that have been forced to host these refugees for all the years. I yield the rest of my time to the chair.
Fellow delegates, Malaysia would like to bring to your attention Resolution 1.2, of which we are a sponsor, and a problem that has been addressed previously with 1.2 is the uninvolvement of the combatant parties, Palestine and Israel, in the process of developing a new state in the committees mentioned in the resolution. Malaysia would like to reaffirm that these committees are in fact to be bipartisan and made up of members from both opposing parties. Additionally, Malaysia would like to point out we have 5 resolutions that we can talk about right now, and it might be advisable for the General Assembly to consider voting for bringing one of the resolutions that they may not have sponsored or be a signatory for to the table so that we can discuss something and get something done. I yield my time to the chair.
Ladies in the back, Morocco, I need to figure out where you fit in to here.
The delegation from the Democratic Republic of Congo would like to say that Resolution 1.3 addresses all of the issues that surround the peace in the Middle East topic and give detailed instructions as to how to bring about a resolution that would aid in that issue. The internationalization of Jerusalem will be a positive influence because while it is under conflict now, the internationalization will prevent people from, will lessen the tensions between religious groups in the area, whereas dividing it down the center and making an East and West Jerusalem will simply alienate the two sides between East and West and will will establish a huge problem of people trying to visit holy sites in the opposite locations of where they live.
Thank you. This motion does require a second. Is there a second? Seconded by Japan.
The definition of Myanmar believes that Resolution 1.2 does encourage a solution that is not only viable but feasible in the Middle East. It encourages the establishments of committees which could fairly look at both sides and any violations that are occurring for treaties that are currently ongoing, because these violations are really what is causing a large part of the strife in the Middle East. All these under-the-table assassinations and anything that's going on either side of the table needs to be dealt with, and the responsible parties need to be held accountable. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Ethiopia. Chile. DPRK. North Korea. Sorry. Senegal. I'm going to close the list at this time. Once on the floor, please raise your placards. This motion clearly does not pass. Are there any points or motions on the floor? Zimbabwe. There's a motion to bring resolution 1.3 to the floor. Is there a second? Seconded by Somalia. This is a debatable motion. It does require one speaker in favor and one speaker against. Can I have a speaker in favor of bringing resolution 1.3 to the floor, please? Zimbabwe. Can I have one speaker against? Myanmar. Yes, sir.
The Republic of Zimbabwe feels that Resolution 1.3 addresses the issue of peace in the Middle, or actually conflict in the Middle East in completeness, since it addresses all four issues debated earlier in moderated caucus by delegations of this General Assembly. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Nicaragua, are you looking to recognize our debt? Are there any points or motions at this time? Saudi Arabia.
Motion to bring 1.6 to the floor for debate.
We don't have copies of that yet, so that motion would not be in order at this time. Are there any other motions on our Raise them up now if you're going to vote, please. Sitting next to Mexico, I can't tell if you're voting or not. Motion does not pass. Floor for debate, please raise your placards. Keep them high. This motion does not pass.
Questions some of the points made on this resolution. For example, 1.2.5 stresses the need to address the plight of Palestinian refugees, but this compensation will be provided by the current occupants. The Republic of Nicaragua fails to see why the current occupants would surrender some of their finances to help this. Furthermore, the committee that's established will establish a definitive timeline that the UN members are establishing themselves without the consent of Palestine and Israel, and the Republic of Nicaragua believes that the definitive timeline would be better established by those countries that the conflict is.
Myanmar believes that this working or draft resolution does not encompass a correct solution to dealing with the Middle East. It suggests the internationalization of a city which has been under severe strife and war for many, many years, and the internationalizing it would only create more problems. Not to mention they're suggesting eliminating Hamas, which is a legitimate political organization which governs much of Palestine. So this resolution would only create more problems for the people of the Middle East. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate.
Saudi Arabia, you recognize to speak.